Alright, let's begin this. Hey guys, who've we got here? Amok, Steps, Dockstar, Andy Magic Knight. Yeah, wrong intro. I put the wrong one on. I was rushing at the last minute there. Prince Phase, welcome. Mr. G. Who am I missing? Proud 7, welcome. CB Mix as well, welcome. Greg Twy. Russell Mills, Fit Trend. I think that's everybody. Retro Phaser as well. It's getting really hard to do this at the beginning. I'm going to have to write a script to help me do this. Spooky64, welcome. And Mad Beagle, welcome. And Jason Page as well. Hey, Jason. Cool. That's it. Hi, guys. So I'm having a bit of a weird day today. I've managed to do my head again up here. Don't know how I've done that, but I have. And I've got some kind of weird eye infection thing going on. So, yeah, what a day it's been. And I had my usual afternoon nap as well. So, well, it's early evening nap. So I'm pretty sure by the time I finish the stream tonight, I'm going to be wide awake and not be able to go to sleep again. But whatever. It's fine. Whizball. We were only talking about this earlier, a couple of hours ago. Did you get infected by a Spectrum? Yeah, it must have been. It must have been all the because I ordered. So I've ordered for the next giveaway. I'll show you actually. So we're going to do a Raspberry Pi Zero ZX Spectrum, and it's going to come in a case like this. So it's a custom white case, repro white case. Oh yeah, let me add the points. Any points? Oh, 10, 1, 2, 3. So it's going to come in a white case like this with white keys on it as well, because you can order these all separately as well. So what I've done is I've ordered the white case and the white key mat, which, yeah, because you can order the key mat separately as well. So the case is just the case. So I've ordered the white case, the white key mat, and one sec, I'll get to that in a sec, and the blue faceplate. So this metallic blue faceplate. So it's going to be white and blue style, ZX64. Will you build it on stream? I'll never win, so I need to make one. Yes, I will try and build most of it on stream. There's a few things I need to do off stream because it will be boring as hell otherwise. Which is I've got. So I also ordered a brand new keyboard membrane for it as well, and hard to see, but these, which are keyboard ribbon cable connectors. So I'm gonna have to create a little board to connect those to the GPIO on the. Thanks for the follow, Jason. Welcome to the stream, dude. I'm gonna have to create a little proto board just so that you can hook the Spectrum keyboard into the Raspberry Pi, because otherwise there isn't a real way to do it. So there's a few little bits like that I might have to do off stream, but yeah, I'll for the most part I'll do most of it. I'll assemble it on stream and talk about the things that I've done anyway. And much like the C64 Pi that I gave away, that will have a bare metal ZX Spectrum emulator on it, so it should just boot straight into the Spectrum emulator at a fairly decent speed. So that's going to be my aim for the next giveaway. I'm just waiting on the parts coming. They should be here tomorrow, I think. And and signed in wine. So yeah, anyway, that's going to be the next giveaway, and I'm actually considering getting a ZX Uno XL board as well, because it's an FPGA board that fits in a Spectrum case, but you can get it to do like Apple II and Atari 2600. You can get it to do all sorts of things, and it's relatively cheap. So I may do a giveaway with one of them soon as well. I'm going to build one for myself, but I may do a giveaway that with one of those in it as well. So some kind of fun hardware coming in the next couple of weeks. Let me just catch up with the follows and stuff. So thank you, a fake chicken robot, for the follow. Thank you for the host, Pro7, and thank you for the host, Andy Magic. Okay, so what I wanted to do tonight was take a look at the code that we'd started doing last time and finish off the kind of the basic mine code, basically. Yeah, I could do another Pi 64 at some point. Yeah. Why is that not loading? There we go. Okay. So for those who don't already know, Jason, who's joined the chat tonight, is doing the music for this, which I've heard a sneak preview of, but we're gonna save that to show to everybody when it's complete. So and when the game is more complete as well. So Shalom Pi 640 number 2. Yeah. For the case components. Yeah, I'll do that after the stream. Remind me again after the stream, and I'll post them all in the in there as well. There's a really good guide for doing all this as well, but I'm gonna have to kind of manually do the board for connecting the keyboard to the thing. You can actually buy the Gerber files do exist for you to order a piece specifically designed to fit in the case and plug the keyboard into and take the power supply in as well. But I don't think I need that much. And to be honest, by the time you build that all together, that piece, that board, and the I forget what it's called now. There's like a little Arduino module that sits on the top. By the time you do that, then it costs almost as much as everything else put together. So I'm going to go down this DIY route because I don't mind a little bit of soldering here and there, so it's fine. Right, I'm going to start the race in the quiz. There we go, and let's get cracking with this. Hopefully, you've enough RAM left over once I deliver the SID. Yeah, to be honest, it's pretty decent because we're loading everything in from cartridge. So every screen is loaded from cart on the fly. I need to clear the color RAM as well when we go through screens. That's something I need to think about. You still see that color RAM is okay. That's fine though. That can be done as part of the map load routine. That's interesting. Well, it should have gone by now, but okay. So the persistence on this screen needs to be figured out properly. But yeah, the memory's not bad actually. I've put some aside already for the music. I'll put aside. So at the moment I've put 6 kilobytes away for sound, but there are tons and tons of room left. And as I say, we're loading everything from cartridge on the fly pretty much, so should be fine, I think. It sounds really good as well, Jason. I absolutely love it. Who got that? I didn't even see what it was. It was too late. Oh, it was Star Wars. Okay, Steps got that. Okay, so one thing I do remember from the last stream, and let's just demonstrate this again here. So I think I left off on the last stream where the mines were exploding, but they weren't being removed properly from the screen. So you see the little explosion sprite kick in. You see the sprite kicks in, but there's no removal of the object from the screen. So that's what we're going to do first. And I remember it being because we need to refactor a few things. So we'll start with that refactoring task. So let's stick another column in here. Let's drop all our useful stuff over that side. So 0 page, macros, constants, tables, all of those. Always good to have open. And let's go and have a look then at, so we've got 2 places where we need to mess with this. So one is entities. This is the routine that should be removing. You can see at the moment we're just doing destroyable, reduce hit points. This needs to be changed to call something else completely. So what I'm going to do is in the destroyable section for that is sprites. No, where did I destroyable there? Particles for some reason. I guess because it emits particles when it's destroyed. I don't know. It doesn't make any sense really. Everyone heard that? Yeah, loads of room. Yeah, I mean, I'm using 6K for music at the moment. Most of the upper half of RAM is occupied. And really, I've got probably about another, I don't know, 12K or so spare. And really, most of the code is going to be in the screen area anyway, which is not going to count as code. So even though it is code, it's not going to count towards my total in this bit here. Sorry, not that bit. Where is it? In this bit here. It's not really going to count there, so it's fine. But yeah, and yeah, I mean, it depends. What do you think it's going to be? Because if you say it's going to be like 28K, then my God, that might be difficult. Right, okay. Da, 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 da. All right. So yeah, what we need to do is what's happening is we're coming into this file here, and this is reducing the hit points. But what it's doing is it's setting the carry flag when it's finished. And this carry flag is being set because in this is it this one here? Yes. In this section here, we do we're actually trying to remove the item, and we remove the item by taking some data that we pass in to work out should we be reducing basically we pass in some screen positions. So pardon me, we pass in some screen positions of these objects, and whenever a bullet hits it, we pass that screen position in and we say try and remove this item. And so it starts by just reducing the hit points down first. So really this should be kind of hit item or something, but it started off as remove item because that's what we were doing first. But that's fine. The naming convention doesn't really matter too much. So as I shoot that, it reduces the hit points that it has until it can be, although it's not reducing it for some reason. Interesting. Oh, because they've actually been removed already. They flashed and ran out of hit points. So yeah, I need to basically replicate the action of hitting it with a bullet, even when there's no bullet there. So in order to do that, I need to kind of split some of this down a little bit. So this continue point here, this is kind of where we need to be looking basically for things. So what this is doing, this is this actually removing? Yeah, this is actually removing the item. Because otherwise we add this decal. So hang on, load collision point. Oh no, this is working out where the object is on the screen, and then it starts reducing the hit points. So actually, if we jump to this point here, from this function instead, and have this actually this function here actually do the reduce hit points, then we can kind of avoid having to do this. But we will need to set a few things up. We'll need to set screen point up. We'll need to set collision point up. So basically we need to do this, but we need to set this up without using update bullets because we don't have bullets. And we also need to set destroy X and destroy Y. And I don't know where decal X and Y comes from, but that doesn't matter because there won't be any decal. Okay, so let's create let's call it force hit, because force hit object then. So this is what we're going to try and call, but we need to set some things up before that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another thing up here, which is going to be force remove item. So it's basically going to be the same as this function here, but it's going to end up jumping to this at the end. We just need to make sure that we set the following properties. So we need to set destroy X, destroy Y, screen point, collision point. So those values need to be set. I think that's all we need to set. Screen point, column shift is a static that comes from here. Destroy X, destroy Y, temp is already there. Screen shake index, hit piece, yeah. Okay, need to think about this a little one step at a time. So let's try and jump into that function with the right data. So I'm going to move the entity stuff over here just so I can read it. So this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to explode the entity that's at this position here. So actually destroy X and destroy Y are already set, so we don't need to do that in here. So that's fine. So we just need collision point and screen point. Now screen point is okay, so screen point and collision point are basically the same offset into screen data. It's just one is using update screen SM+2. Update bullets. So one is using screen coordinates, one is using collision coordinates. So okay, let's have a look. We do have map lookup here. Update mine. Where's it getting map lookup from? I think that's probably what we need. Data screen. Ah, there we go. So we already have these values here. So actually, I might not even need this function. I might just be able to jump straight into this one here. So let me get rid of that. That's that tune just kind of fell out of me. It fell out of me. Sometimes things just fall into place. When that happens, I always think I probably ripped someone else's music off. Yeah, I know the feeling with things. I am in a bit of a groove this evening. Yeah, sorry, I'm kind of miles away. I'm trying to keep up with the chat, and I realise I've missed loads. So, Agonite Rosterini. Why is map lookup in brackets? this one here, this is in brackets because it's using this is an addressing mode, so I'm using indirect zero page index with Y. So it's a specific kind of addressing mode. So map lookup is actually pointed to an address in zero page, which contains another address. So that's what it's doing. What game's that? I have no idea what that is. Oh my god! Well done, Mr. G. Awesome. It's always. I think it's because I don't know the game. I'm just amazed that somebody else knows it. I mean, I know I'm not the definitive list of all known games at all, but it always amazes me. Okay, so collision point I need as well. Again, these are both kind of the same offset, so the LSB will be fine. The only one I need to change is the upper value here, and that can be done by doing this, which we're already doing on this side here. I do, however, need to set that apparently looking up here. So I'm going to put those in here as well. So now I should be able to jump to this point and it remove, which is what it looks like it's doing there. So let's give that a try. Let's get rid of this bit. Close this down and give it a try. Hopefully they'll actually remove and cause a proper explosion there. But we shall see. I'd love to know how I did that on my head again. I don't remember banging it. Maybe I sleepwalked or something, sleepwalked. Oh, no. Okay, that's not good. So it's trying to do something, but then it's crashing. So let's have a look here. So this is saying jump into destroyable, remove item, force hit object, which is this bit here. Oh no, there is oh, why is it doing that? What's this bit about? Shift to screen point. So it takes a screen point, shifts it back. Oh, okay, right. So shit, this isn't gonna work, is it? Do I need screen point at all here? Collision point, collision point. Yes, I do. Unfortunately, need screen point here. But what am I actually checking here? So I'm checking. Why am I starting it? I can't remember what this freaking collision shift is about. This is because when you hit something, it has to find the start point. So that's what we're trying to do now. We're trying to find the start point, which is what this is here. Which makes me think. Let me move that to here because we already know where the start point is based on what the object is here. So we don't need to do this initial loop through everything, but we do need to do this from here. Which probably means I can get away with using 0 as our Y here. So let's just do that here and not have to do this at all. I knew this was going to be a pain. And this is why I because it was towards the end of the stream last time. I remember getting to this point and thinking, God damn it, yeah. Hey Sean, about playing Thalamus Classics after the Cecconoid. That's not a bad idea, actually. That's not a bad idea. Although one thing about Thalamus games, I always found them a lot harder than everything else. So I extra suck at those. But yeah, I could do that. I mean, it won't be tonight because I'm very, very tired. I'm having a real tough week this week. But yeah, that's not a bad idea. Oh yeah, the Sid list is huge tonight. Ah, okay. Yeah, I'm just uh God, I'm trying to keep up with everything here. Hey, Chromosome Drift, welcome. Uh, I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing out on. This is the other thing as well. Is it's hard to keep up. This is why the only reason I'd like to reduce the spam is to try and keep up with chat a little bit better. That's got hard if we got past the title screen. I was okay. It's okay at Armalite. Although again, I found that a very difficult game still, but I kind of played that enough to get okay at it. Creatures, I was terrible at. I could get to like the third level or something like that, but then I would just die. I just because I didn't invest the time to learn the patterns. I guess. I was thank you for the follow, Army DDX as well. I missed that. Thank you very much, dude. You know, can you imagine that? It'd be a nightmare. Thanks for the bit, Sandy. That would be an absolute nightmare. Um, Creatures 2, similar thing. I could do individual. I could probably do all the levels, and I cheated all the way to the end eventually on that anyway. But individually, I could do all the levels, but I couldn't do the whole thing in one run without dying. So uh, maybe you could have a bot in Discord running the SID request. Yeah, I'm considering. To be honest, the SID requests aren't too bad. The biggest problem is the races. But even if I took them out, there's still people gambling, giving points, checking their points. There's still a lot in there that's going to cause spam. So I mean, maybe at some point I will have another go at trying to make the video overlay for the gambling stuff. But um, checking points should be a PM. It's built-in functionality for Stream Elements or Streamlabs, whichever one it is. Yeah, Stream Elements. It's not something. I mean, you could probably try it. I wonder what happens if I try and whisper. But then everybody's got to do it that way as well. So, um, yeah. Did anyone get past 4 levels of Iridium? I got quite far in Iridium. I got quite good at that. But I tried playing it again recently, and I'm terrible at it now. But back in the day, that was one of my most played games, so I kind of got okay at that. Okay, right. So we're getting a crash somewhere when this is called. Probably because some of these values are wrong. Um, and they're probably wrong because I don't quite know what I should be passing into these. I'm making some guesses. Um, so I'm just trying to see if there's anything that we're not setting up that gets used. So, um, offset difference is our So we've got our screen lookup here, which is the actual position on screen that the object that we're trying to explode is at. Collision point is basically our position in. Oh, hang on. Offset difference. Collision point 0. Ah, okay. So that should probably be. Let's move that down here. Actually, no. Let's put that. Wait, how did I do this before up here? I must have done this already. Oh, this is a bit worrying because okay, I'm gonna have to do some tests into this routine because I'm not entirely sure what we're actually doing here. So let me just put a breakpoint in there. Let me have a look. This is what you get for sleeping before the stream. I'm completely lost now. It's also really fucking warm in here. Can't win. I'm either way too cold or way too warm in this room. Okay, so when one of these explodes, I should get a break into the thing, which I do. Right, so let me have a look. Let's have a look at all the code around here. Okay, so collision point is 9.7. Screen point is not. In fact, it'd be easier if I did this in the debugger. Which would be easier if it actually loaded up. You got Mr. G. Well, you're on form tonight. Okay. What's going on here then? Because it hasn't paused. Oh, the breakpoint. Fucking hell! I hate this. I really need to fix these breakpoints in the debugger because this is a pain in the ass. Because I've got no idea where that is now. 2E0E, so 330 something, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay, there's the subroutine jump. So I'm just going to put the breakpoint in there. I'm going to restart, which should load it again. Okay, the good news is that the code is still running. At that point, we could see it jumping around, so the IRQs are still firing. It's just that there's obviously an infinite loop in the main code somewhere. Okay, but at this point, we can now go and have a look at what our values are in memory. So we are pointing at. Oh yeah, I mean this is pointing to somewhere completely off screen. So we're pointing at BE8B, which is nowhere on the screen because the screen is at C000, so that's wrong, which is probably half of the problem. And the other one is pointing to 023B, which is it's going to be doing because now we're pointing to somewhere completely random in memory. Okay, that's fine. So in that case, what we need to do is we need to take Oh, wait, why is it pointing to that if screen is here? Wait a minute. 2EF. Oh, damn it. God damn thing. There we go. No. X is on 01, so 2EOF would have been this line here, 3B and 00. What? Is it pointing? Well, it doesn't seem to be pointing to anything at the moment, which is the odd thing. Unless I'm looking at the wrong. Hang on. Oh no, this source code mode doesn't work either. God damn it! All right. All right. So I'm gonna have to manually kind of check what this is against the code. Oh, so annoying. So I want the one just before the subtract. That's the one I'm interested in. So the subtract is here. 2E4F. Is that right? Yeah, that's the screen. So it should be that value, but for some reason the screen is pointing to 9A is pointed to somewhere completely freaking different. So yeah, 023B. Oh, it's pointing. Okay. It's pointing to an offset. So what we need to do is we need to actually add our value in here. So it's not pointing to screen RAM, it's pointing to an offset, because we can apply it to any area. So that makes this a very different prospect. So instead, what we need to do then is, first of all, we'll store this one here, but before that, we're going to add 7C to it. And then we're going to add, I can get rid of all of this actually. And then we're going to add C0 minus 7C. Because this is our shadow screen RAM, which we need to point to. And this is our actual shadow collision RAM. Hey Reapers, Realm Gaming, thanks for the follow. I'm doing okay, thank you. How are you? Hopefully you're okay. Yeah, okay. Now the only thing with this is screen RAM is 40 bytes ahead of collision RAM, so I need to make sure that I also add to collision RAM. So I think the easiest way to do this is to do these as two separate pieces rather than like this. So let me just clear this up again. So rather than confuse matters like this, I'm just going to do it as separate pieces, and then I can add the 28 here, which means when I load this one in and add 7C, it will. Oh, actually, it's subtract, isn't it? Here, that's right. So I need to add this one. I need to subtract from this one, and then you need to subtract 0 here. Then you can clear and add the screen RAM. which is not Screen Map now. This is Collision. Right, and if I do this, can I... Let's have a think about this. If I subtract and the cow flag is clear, then I need to subtract. Okay, so I can get rid of that and change that to this. Okay, let's try that. That should be a little bit better now, I think. It was just getting that that value right, because it was pointing to somewhere that was actually in the middle of kind of low pages in RAM rather than actual screen RAM, because this screen LSB is not actually, this is kind of, I should really rename this to screen offset LSB. To be honest, after how smooth things have been going recently, it's about time we should have a problem with a few things. I'm doing a Unity 3D build. I wanted to know if anyone would give me a... Probably the wrong place to ask, to be honest, Reaper's Realm Gaming, because we're all kind of retro coders here. So while there are a few people around, I'm sure that do know how to do Unity. Mostly we're retro coders. There we go. We have exploded modes. Cool. Cool. That's really cool. That works. I just want to check that the persistence works if I go something. So there is definitely a need to clear the color RAM on these objects, because you can see there that the color RAM is persistent. That's fine. We can do this with a map load. That's absolutely fine. And the objects have indeed been removed here, so that's good. So cool. We've got mines that actually removed now. So the next step is to make sure that instead of just making them explode straight away, they explode based on the distance to the player. So first of all, let's clear the color RAM properly. So we can do that in our map loader. It's a relatively quick thing to do. So here's where we're doing all the loading here, and then we re-enable interrupt. So I'm going to do it here just before the interrupts enable. So I'm going to load 1 because everything by default is going to be white. So we'll start with that. I'm going to load X with 0. So I'm going to count backwards. So we need to do 24 rows. So we'll split it into 6 rows each. So if we start at 240, that should be enough. So store that at D800 or D800 plus 28 times 1. This is the actual row number, and then -1. The reason I'm doing the -1 is because I'm trying to make this as quick as possible. So the end of this loop is going to be like this. Because this value goes over 128, we can't use the usual branching plus, branching minus here to make this quicker. So by starting at the value +1 here, you can make sure that when it hits 0, you've reached the end, and then this loop will work. But it doesn't mean you need to -1 from it here. And then I need to do this for 4 rows. So the first one starts on row 1. Then it's row 13 and row 19. So each one of these is 6 rows, and that should clear the screen properly this time. So let's just put a little note in there, clear the screen color to white. Okay, so this is probably going to take about 2/3 of a frame, so it's still keeping things running quickly, so that's fine. You work at Unity, Jason. Oh, there you go. I would like to do something in Unity one day, but I'm kind of put off by the kind of modern gaming thing. It's just so hard to be noticed with these things. But it does interest me. I enjoyed doing some stuff in Game Maker Studio, which is a kind of a poor man's a poor man's Unity, if you like. Okay, so there is still something going on here. I wonder if the entities are being called. You can see it's flashing red here, but if I go on this screen, oh, what's going? I somehow lost control then, and have gone down the screen instead. What? I can't move. I can't go up. Okay, something weird going on there. Yeah, I remember putting the Krypton Factor one in there. I think you should play that at some point, Hayes. Maybe that should be your that should be your next next stream, Krypton Factor game. I'm not sure if it is a collision offset issue. It's something just went weird all of a sudden. I don't know if it was just. It's not doing it now. You can see here, none of these have turned red, so the color RAM is being properly cleared when I enter this screen. But then when you come down here and fly over the area where the mines were, there, you can see some of these particles are turning red. Oh, and it's done it again. Something has forced me downwards. I wonder if it's a collision thing. Not a collision offset, but it thinks I'm colliding with something that's not there. But I can't move in any direction. That's the thing. It's letting me go up and not down. Yeah, I think it might because it's painting them red and it's causing some weird collision stuff. And actually you can see, well, you probably can't, but there's some little particles appearing just under the ship here, which would imply we're shooting at something. In fact, if I try and shoot, it's mostly getting like I'm trying to shoot forwards at the moment, and nothing's happening. Shooting down, shooting up. Yeah, it's like I'm in the middle of something here. Oh, but look, so I'm pushing up and diagonal up now. So I'm pushing kind of that way, and yet the bullets are going that way. So it's like something is pulling me down all the time. Same with that side as well. It's like the second joystick is pulling down, and at the same time that's pulling down. No, because the controls are here. If I turn them off, yeah, it's still doing it. There is something that's overriding the joystick controls here. So I'm guessing something is being kind of. All right. First things first. Let's work out why they're flashing red. So the only reason they would flash red is if this entity still exists. So let's move this code over here. So the entity code goes through all the entities, and if the entity still exists, it should do it. So here you see data type. If that's equal to 0, it should skip and it should go on to the next one. Otherwise, it should jump to the correct update routine, which in the case of the mines is update mine, and that changes the colors. Oh, God, I'm out of code. Thanks for the resub, for I appreciate it, dude. Oh, I like that bub hype. That's cool. Still enjoy writing a harness for a music demo. So it's to play with 6502 again. Are they in the collision shadow screen? Yeah, I think that's what might be happening. So I'm going to have a look at. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, the first thing I want to do is work out, are they, when they've been removed, are they actually being removed? Is this actually removing them? Actually turning the entity off? Because I don't think it is. It seems like it should be doing here, but we seem to get into this function again at some point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find out where this piece of code is, run through the debugger. Uh, Thanks, Doxter. I found the bottle of coffee tequila as well the other day. I could have had coffee tequila the other night when I was complaining I had no alcohol. So probably a good job I didn't. But yeah, but yeah, I probably won't be buying much tequila to be honest with you. Um, okay, it's broke somewhere. Why is it broke? I didn't put. Oh, did I put a breakpoint there? Maybe I did. Oh, I'm pressing the wrong button. That's why. Okay, so let's go get into here. Right, now I'm going to pause it. Then I'm going to go and find this piece of code. So unfortunately, I can't just jump to it because I don't have my breakpoint set up properly through loading it in here because of the way the cartridge works. So I'm going to have to manually go and find this. So I'm looking for this update mine function. So um, let's work our way through from here. So this function here. So the next RTS is here. So that's this one. So let's find the next RTS above that, which is here. These are our jump tables, which makes this the entry point here for this update mine. Okay, so I would expect this to be called every frame until these things explode, basically. So you can see it's updating them. So let's just let them explode. Right, now let's drop in here again. Okay, so you can see now that this is no longer being hit. The breakpoint's there, but we're no longer hitting it anymore. So if I fly around, oh, but look. Oh, no, it's because I'm using both joysticks now. That's fine. So come onto this screen, go back here again. And we are hitting it. And I think this is because what is happening now is even though the entity's been killed, it's a persistence thing. Okay, so what is happening here is that when we enter the screen again, it does this scan for registering entities. And then the register entity scan says, okay, there's an object here, so let's class it as a mine. But the screen persistence data. So remember when we added these screen persistences in? These have the data for the mines as well, and these will have a hit point value of 0 here to say that the mines have been destroyed. So we also probably need to check this data to make sure that this data isn't already set to 0 and remove that. So that should be fairly easy to do. So we can do that in here, I guess. I know because we still need to find it. So maybe we need to do it in here. So this is registering the entities. This is a map lookup. So this is actually looking it up in the map. But then what we need to do is we need to take that X and Y value and we need to go and see if that exists. Okay. Okay, so this is going to be fun. Okay, I'm going to do that here. So We just need to make sure that they're removed. You see that they were removed when we entered when we killed them on the screen, but now we need to check them against persistent objects. So I think Destroyable has something along these lines already, which we might be able to use. I don't think it does actually. So we have this persistence lookup. Where is that set? I have no idea where that gets. Oh, that's getting set in here. Okay. Iridium. God, I recognize that from the first note. That's crazy. I'm going to take a break in a few minutes and go and grab some fresh air. Say fresh air, I'm just going to smoke this thing. So, still not had a cigarette, so it's working. Oh, what the hell is that? Oh, oh, I know what that is. Come on, guys, somebody knows that. Well done, Andy. Andy got that because it's not a game he had anything to do with. If it was a game he had something to do with, he probably would have still said Chucky Egg. So. I was just waiting for your response then. Okay, so this is actually looking find a match that needs removing. Okay, we're gonna have to do this manually, I think, which is a bit annoying. Oh God, I feel like this is the first part now of the game where I feel like I've badly kind of thought this through. Shall I bully? Yeah. I'm of the school of Trump. I've learned how to bully now. So I finished the stream on Tuesday, and I was trying to get to sleep, and I couldn't get to sleep. So I turned the debate on I can't remember what it was on. It was on something somewhere. Oh my God, I couldn't get to sleep after that because I was so freaking angry. Take care, Jason. Thanks for joining the stream, dude. I'm really looking forward to getting your music in the game. By all means, make it big, but let's not go with like too big, right? I'm sure it'll be fine. Thanks for the. Oh dear. Cool. Thanks for the bits, Hayes. Appreciate it, dude. I regret putting the shallow spam in there. Thanks for the sub as well, Andy Magic. Gift sub to Jason Page. Awesome. Eldritch says I did the same dumb thing, so very, very angry. Yeah, I really wish I hadn't because I can't remember what time it was. I think it was about 3 a.m. in the morning, and it was on for an hour and a half. Or it might have been 2 a.m. I can't remember. It was quite late anyway. And I thought I'll watch this and then I'll go to sleep. And all I did was just get super angry, and it made it even harder for me to go to sleep. And I don't even live in America, and I was angry. It was just so annoying, so rude. That debate was, oh man, it was a train wreck. It was terrible. I mean, the only good thing about it, and unfortunately, it doesn't really matter, is that he showed himself what he really was. Trump showed himself to be devoid of any policy and just very, very bullying. But unfortunately, that doesn't matter because people have already picked their sides. So he, as he said before, he could walk down Fifth Avenue, shoot somebody, and get away with it, and people would just back him. So yeah, he shows that every day, but it's censored depending on which. So like the people who watch Fox News, for instance, won't see half of that. It will all be spun to make him look good. Um, and I think with the debate, they can't really hide it that much. So although Fox will still do their best to spin it. So whatever. Anyway, I'm not going to get into politics, especially politics for a country that has got nothing to do with me. So, um, although you could argue that what happens in America affects everybody in the world, and it kind of does. So, but anyway, let's not get into that. Right. Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for a quick break, and then when I come back, we'll sort this persistence out. So all this is basically an entity. Um, when an entity is being scanned, it needs to make sure when it scans that if it already has hit points of 0, that it doesn't display on the screen. I think if we do that, we'll solve our issues. I'm just going to go for a quick 2 or 3 minutes though, just to kind of stretch my legs and get a bit of fresh air, and then I'll be back very shortly after that. So let me bring up, where's my overlay gone? There it is. All right, I'll be back in. Shannon, when you expect 3090 to arrive? I hope it doesn't have the capacitor issue. Learned about it in the last few days. I'm not too bothered about the capacitor issue. I'm not going to be doing much overclocking, so and they apparently fixed it in the drivers anyway. So, but I haven't got it yet. It's still not marked as shipped, so I don't know when it's going to come. All right, I'll be back in 2 or 3 minutes, guys. Be right back. What happened there? It looks like you got that right. I'm assuming by Hayes's huge exclamation of what that something weird happened. I can't actually see. It's not letting me scroll. Why is it not letting me scroll up? Hayes may have been robbed. Why? What happened? So the answer was Mario Bros. Stop the break. Nicely done, Hayes. Somebody's going to be kicking themselves for not getting that. I can't remember who it is who keeps spamming action biker, but somebody does. It's Hackenfin. I knew somebody was spamming that. That's it, guys. It's not going to show up for ages. So, okay, right. So, what do I need to do? I need to check if an entity is already dead. Okay. Based on its X and its Y, uh, which I can actually look up in the persistent stuff. Okay, so we can do this. We can do this kind of lookup here. Check the Mario Bros quiz. What happened? It could just be that it didn't. It didn't. I saw that you did answer it, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you the 10,000 points. It could just be that the API failed to pick it up. It happens now and again. For whatever reason. So I'll just give you. I'll give you the points. I did see that you answered before anybody else. So helps if I actually do it right. It does happen now and again. I've seen the API like fail to register some things, so I answered it yesterday. Because the capital, I noticed that one was capitalized and one wasn't, but that should not have made a difference because it's all spaces are removed, all punctuation is removed, and it's all set to lowercase. So um, I need to set my default race time as well to 10 minutes. It's showing as 15 minutes at the moment. Okay, so I kind of need to do this same thing here. So I'm just going to grab that from here. It's a bit annoying having to do that over in here as well, but I can kind of live with this for now because it's not going to be something that I have to change very often, if at all. And really all I'm doing is this. So what I'm trying to do is look through to find an X and a Y. So also we're probably going to need to store Y somewhere because that's actually being used here. So do that there instead. Now I'm going to load it, but I don't know why I have to load it again, but I'm going to anyway, just to make sure. Okay. Okay. So we're checking against data X, comma X, and data Y, comma Y. So as long as I don't mess around with the X, which is already messed around with here, brilliant. Okay, transfer X to the accumulator, push that here. If it finds it, I'm going to go to found. If it's not, then it goes to skip. And this, I need to do different ones here. So skip for, do this one here. So it's 4 pieces of data in each screen, point here. What we're looking for is the hit points here, so the third one. But we also need the first two to match. So there'll be a skip 4, there'll also be a skip 3 as well, which is when we load the next one here, and we compare that to data Y. And then we do the same again, but this time now we're checking hit points. So we're not checking against anything, we're just saying, okay, so we have found an object here. So this is where we go to found. And now we can just, actually at this point here, what we can do is, branch if equal, we just jump ahead to here. Otherwise, we're just going to return. And I'm going to change this to remove if already dead, because that's what we're doing. Uh, Oh, actually, we can do it as simple as this. We're going to set the carry. No, clear the carry flag if we don't need to do anything. If we do need to remove it, we'll set the carry flag. Hey, Thalamus. I see you snuck in there. Otherwise, we're going to do these things. We do need to check for exit here. So this will be jump to loop. And put the exit there. So the reason I'm putting the exit there is because it's going to keep the carry flag clear. So what we're saying here is if the carry flag is clear, then we don't need to do anything. If the carry flag is set, then we do need to do something. So what that means up here is if the carry flag is clear, and then we're going to jump ahead to this point. Otherwise, what we need to do is we need to set this value back to 0. And then jump to skip so that we don't increase to the next value. So okay, I think that should do it. Let's give it a try. Soon find out anyway. Yeah, who picked this? I didn't need to pick a sit tune for you then. I don't know if that did cue it. I don't think it did actually. Let me cue that for you. Click tech. I don't know why that didn't happen. It seems to be having some problems tonight. Oh, it doesn't find anything. Okay. Okay, that wasn't either. So I apologize for whatever this next tune is going to be when it comes on. Let me just go and find this for Click Tech in DeepSid. So if you really want to make sure that your tune ends up being played, your best bet is to search for it using DeepSid. And then once you've found it in DeepSid, just copy the path out of there. So now when I search for this, it should be right. So it's IK plus like that. Oh no, that's still not found. Okay, it's fine. There we go. Right. So I've added 3 tunes and only one of them I want. So and Mr. G's added it as well. So you get it twice. Why are these tunes you keep picking, Andy? Okay, so what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to skip over my next 2 because so that's the tune, but Mr. G's cued it, so it will appear at some point. I just want to skip over the other ones while I'm thinking about it. So you will get it in a short while. I think Andy's ears are out of tune. Yeah, I do as well. So yeah, you will get it eventually. Oh, who put No Wolf in there? It's their fault. Okay, so they should explode, which they do, and I can move through them perfectly fine, which is good. Oh, I'm still getting. Okay, that's because I need to actually clear the color RAM when they explode. That's fine. What I'm interested in is, are they still running when I come on this screen now? So that hopefully there's no red anywhere, which there isn't. And My bullets are working properly. Excellent. And that's fixed our weird collision issue as well. So I think it was to do with collision RAM. So okay, that's cool. So the only thing I need to do now is I need to remove the red color just before they explode. So that should be pretty easy to do. Although every time I've said that tonight, it's ended up not being. So here, jump to the explode, explode entity. Well, I'm just looking at how this actually works. The timer ticks down, and then they explode when the timer runs out. So I could quite easily just there we go. Right. It's only taken me an hour and a half so far to do this, which is kind of crazy. Should have been done a lot quicker than this. Okay, so let's have a look. Yeah, and see now I'm not seeing any red particles at all, so that's good. That's all working fine now. Excellent. So the cool thing with the mines is because we now have that piece of code in place, this is also going to apply for the spikes that shoot out. Basically, we're just going to inherit the mine code, but on the explosion here, when we do this, there'll be another check here that says, okay, we've exploded this entity, but actually it'll be just before we explode the entity. We'll check which type we're on, because exploding it sets the type to 0. But what we'll do is we'll check the type here, and if it is of a type that's like a 4-way mine or a 6-way mine or something, then we'll be able to force it to shoot out arrows as well. Have I checked the raster times? I haven't for a while, but I can do that. Shouldn't be too bad at all. Okay, border. So I can just turn debug on, kind of. I like this tune. You pick this one. 21 up 21. Good choice. Okay, that doesn't really help us because it's showing green as the well, green is the unused area, so wherever it's green is the free time we've got, which is quite a lot actually. So there's some weird bits in this tune though that sound like they're on like it should be on an 8580 or something. Yeah, this is kind of okay. I'm happy with that, considering all the multiplexing that's going on as well, and all the sprite stuff that's going on. Very happy with that. But yeah, let's turn that off because I know the game Humper. Um, why is my background on? My background should be red. It's a Cecconoid stream. It should be red. There we go. I actually do try and color match that to what stream I'm on. Kind of. All right, I'm gonna have a guess at this game as it comes up. I have no idea. Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I. Oh, no, maybe I don't actually. I thought it was something else. Uh, yeah, I kind of thought it was along those lines. Yeah, Target Renegade. That's what I thought it was, but apparently it's not. So, but yeah, I would have gone with Target Renegade. That's what I thought it was when it first came up. But then I saw the hood at the bottom looks very different to what you'd expect. So I'm not sure. Uh, I see what it says. Never heard of it. Never heard of it. I remember getting Renegade 3 and it had dragons in it, or no, not dragons, dinosaurs in it. I was like, what the fuck is this? And that's as far as I played it, and just never, never played it again after that. I thought this is freaking stupid. It was, I think it was dinosaurs. That hang on, I need to kind of look that up now. I hope that's what it was, and I wasn't just on some crazy acid trip or something. Um, yeah, I mean this is the Amiga one, but you get the idea. I mean, what the fuck is that? That's not Renegade. So I turned it off at that point. It's like I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna entertain that shit. Right. Okay. So next job, sorry, is to get the entities to be able to check. Okay, check active. So yeah, we need to check if we're close to the player or not. So we need to make a distance routine. Now, there's a few ways to do this, but I'm going to use tables for this. I'm just kind of sort it out so it's a little bit neater. There we go. So what I'm going to do, so first of all, we need to check if we're active. So let's do that. We have something called is active, which is going to be 0 if it's not active. So I'm going to start them all at 0. We're going to load data dot is active comma x, and if that's not equal to 0, then we're going to jump to active here, which is this piece here. However, if we're not active, what we then now need to do is we need to work out, are we close to the player or not? So the easiest way to do this is, first of all, let's create a get distance method. So what get distance is going to do, or let's do get distance to get distance player to entity. And we're going to return a value in the accumulator, which is going to be our distance value. And we're going to do this based in characters because we've already got our x and our y position, which is in here, data x and data y. So let's just put these in here. So it doesn't matter that it's loading, or I'm just trying to point out now. So this is our entity x, entity y, and what we're trying to work out is the distance between the player and the entity. So if with the player x and y is px and py, so let's just say px, py, the player, and these are all in character space, then the distance is the square root of ex minus px squared plus EY minus PY squared. So I've said this before, doing square roots is not advisable thing to do. Because it's slow. So what we can do is we can square both sides of this. So distance squared is this. And this is a bit easier to do. So basically, if we get the difference between the player X and the player Y, that will give us well, let's put difference. So dx equals ex minus px, ey equals ey minus py. So this is going to give us, it's going to make this a lot easier. So this becomes dx dy. So we don't really care about the distance. All we need to make sure is that we check the distance squared. So if we say we don't want to be, we want to be within 4 characters of a mine to trigger it, then the distance we're looking for is 16 because that's the distance squared. So the value that the output that we're looking for is 16. Now, the easiest way to do this is to, so we can get rid of this here. The easiest way to do this is to take each one of these and square it first, and that's easy enough to do. We can have a table look up. In fact, I've got, where's my tables? So we'll have some tables over here that will do that for us. But we also know we don't want to be, if we're more than 4. So if we know our distance, right? So so say our maximum distance is 4, right? So if we're trying to work out, are we 4 or less? Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to check these dx and dy values. If either of them is more than 4, then we're too far away. So that's the first thing we're going to do. We're going to pass a value in the accumulator, which is going to be our maximum distance. So first of all, I'm going to create a lookup to a gtemp value, maybe. Yeah, gtemp should be fine. So we're going to store that value as soon as we come in max dist. Now we need to create dx. So let's go ahead and actually we need player first. We need to get px and py. So in order to get player x and player y, what we're going to need to do is we're going to need to convert the player position into collision coordinates. Now we are already doing that somewhere. So let me see if I can find where we're doing that. So game loop, player control, player fire control. So I'm guessing in player control is where we're doing it, but this is probably going to be checked on the fly. So, okay, this is fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, actually, we can do it in here. If we just do it once on a player control, then it's always set. So if we use 0 page, which should already have, actually, it doesn't have player X and player Y in here. So let's go into player. Collision. So we do have a collision routine in here. Okay, so we can call this routine once per frame for the middle of the character sprite and store that. We'll store it in actually we've already got collision char X and collision char Y here. Which means we basically just need to copy those at this point here. It's fine. I'll call it every frame. So what we're going to do is in the player routine. So in here, at the beginning of control, we're going to record center of player sprite for char distance calcs. So the way we're going to do that is we're just going to call this function here. And we're going to do that by, do we call it all in there? No, we don't. Okay. So the accumulator needs to be half, it needs to be this basically. In sprite space, yes, so that's fine because this does all the border reductions. But we want it to be in the middle of the sprite. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 12 to that, and that's going to give us halfway through the sprite at this point. That's the accumulator. And then Y will be the Y position of the sprite, which is going to be the Y pos here. So I'm just going to put that in the X register for now because I'm going to grab it back at the end here. And I'm going to put this in the accumulator, and then I'm going to add our 10 to put the middle of the sprite going down and transfer that to the Y. So there we go. So we've got, we run this routine now, and this will give us in collision char X and collision char Y, the exact values which point to our the middle of our player. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new value here, player center X and player center Y, so that they don't get overridden. And that's as simple as doing this. Cool. There we go. So now we can just use, whoops, we can just use those values in our routine now. So if we go back to entity here, so now we have our player Y, and we can work out the difference now by doing this. So let's put const dx equals g temp 2, dy will be t to g temp 3. So we've got somewhere where we can store these values and we get it. And so we need to subtract the player center Y from this value here. This, yeah, it doesn't matter if we do EX minus PX or PX minus, as long as it's consistent, it's fine. So I'm just going to do it this way around. Okay, the only other thing we need to do here is if the value is negative, we need to do some adjustments because we're doing an ABS test. Because this isn't, we're not actually using squares, we're going to use tables. We do need this to be positive. So we're just going to do this. And that would actually mean at this point that the carry flag would be clear. So we can just add the 1 here. Cool. And then that gets stored at dx. And it should be x there. And then we do the same with player center Y, data Y, and dy. Right, so now we have dx and dy at this point. So now we can start doing some comparisons. In fact, we can do them right here. We can do them before we even continue the rest. So we can say compare the dx to max dist. And if that value is more than or equal to that, we'll say we'll try it like this first. I think this should be fine. So if that value is less than that, then we can continue. Otherwise, we exit. And that will return. Okay, we can load. We'll just return a really high value FF and return. And then we do the same with the Y as well. So we compare it to the maximum distance. If it's less than that, we return. Otherwise, we return FF. So now we've done the first short circuit out of this if the value is more than this mixed max distance. Okay, so now we need to square those values. So that's quite easy. We just need a table. So in tables, I'm just going to create a table and then call it squares. And this is just going to have a few values in this. So obviously this is going to limit us to how far the maximum distance can be before we start having to use 16-bit squares. But 0 squared is 0, 1 squared is 1, 2 squared is 4, and we just carry on like this, add in the min. 25, 36, 7 7 is 49, so that would be 3 1, 8 8 is 64, 9 9 is 81, 81 is 5 1, 10 10s are 100, which is 100 is 64, 11's 1 2 1, so 7 7B. What is that? I can hear some 144, 13 13 to 169, so 9, 14 14s, 140 plus 196, so that is C4. 15 15s are 225, so that's E1, and 16 16s is too much. So we can go up to 15 away before we run out of room on here. So as long as hang on, what you on about there? Oh, you're on about Grid Runner. Okay. Welcome, Cecconoid, by the way. Yeah, I'm getting carried away. I'm not even paying attention. Let me have a look. How's things going? I'm going to take a quick 2 seconds out and just start the race, just to catch those people out who are just looking at the timer. It already tastes burnt for some reason. Hey, Cecconoid. Oh, I know what this is. Anybody who got a C64C has a very good chance of having this game in one of the packs that they supplied. Oh, Hayes. But yeah, Hayes got it. Yeah. It wasn't the best game in the world, but it was a light gun game, so it wasn't terrible, but yeah, I think that was the one that came with shoot 'em up construction kit as well. Had Army Days. That's the only one I remember actually. I think it was like three games like that seemed to be kind of very very budget games, but I think they were all light gun games. Uh, oh, I didn't know you could get it standalone. That's kind of cool. Light fantastic. Oh yeah, I guess because it came with the because it was the light gun, wasn't it? So your clue gave me the answer. Yeah. Hayes almost had it and just hit one extra button. Yeah, it was cool. I remember it being quite cool doing it. Was someone lost by mistyping? Yeah, but at least he generally got it right. I think you mistyped about 80% of the characters you meant to type. You were so desperate to type it in. Oh, cool. So did you? I guess you played them on a CRT then, because you can't play them on LCD, can you? So good night, Quadrusaur. Thanks for joining the stream, dude. Oh god, where's that one? Wow. Yeah, Philips CRT. Oh, nice. The oh fuck, what was it called? Like CRT TV or CRT monitor? I swear that's burnt already. I swear I burnt the coil already. Good job I got a spare one, but whatever. Okay, so now we have these values. We can look up the square of these values now. Uh, and actually, we do need to remove some of these because we need to add them together as well. So it's just up to there. So that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So you can be up to in a triangle, a hypotenuse of a triangle where the adjacent and the opposite are 11 each. Um, preload. Oh yeah, Star Wars Squadrons is out, isn't it? Or is coming out tomorrow or something. Why not make a table of the added squares? Uh, yeah, I mean, I could do that. I could make a table where you look up based on dx and dy. Um, but I can easily just add them together anyway. It's not a huge deal. I mean, it's basically doing this. It might save a couple of cycles, but it's going to take up more memory to do. Basically, uh, well, this squared, this number of bytes squared, when I can just do this. There you go. That's going to produce the same value. So now the accumulator has the distance squared. Um, um, and that's it. That's all we need to do. So this is gonna get the distance squared to the player entity. So we're always considering the square distance here. Um, so what we can do here is we can say, all right, if our maximum distance is 04. Oh no, actually we're just doing the ex. Oh no, this is fine. Yeah, yeah. No, this is fine. Okay. Um, yeah. So we do this, and then here we can do a little check. So we can say we're checking for a value that is this is 4 squared. So we're looking for a value no bigger than 10. So compare to 10. If the value is less, then we've hit activate. Otherwise, we can just return. and activate is basically just going to take this value here. Oh, we do need to make sure that we restore X here as well, because we do need this X. X needs to remain untouched at this point. Y is fine, but X we do need to restore. So let's just make sure that we keep that. So let's. I'm just going to use the stack here. I think it's no, actually I'm not, because we're going to do it on this side instead. Yeah, I'll use the stack here. I can always move it to somewhere else if I don't like it. Uh, hmm, hang on. Can I just do this with Y instead? That would be easier, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's do it with Y. Because that can stay the same. Yeah, let's just do this with Y here. There we go. I don't need to do anything. Okay, cool. That solves that. And then to activate, all we need to do is load the accumulator with whatever our active time is. So I'm going to call it mine timer. And we're going to store it there. And because it's activated, we can just drop straight down into this. Time space trade off as always. Yeah. I just shot on 50k. You got me a shout. You and me got a shout on Warlock podcast this afternoon. Oh, cool. I'll have to. I keep meaning to check in on that. I've kind of I've hopped over onto the YouTube channel once or twice. I need to actually. I need to subscribe. Which, by the way, guys, if you haven't already, subscribe to my YouTube. I don't want to sound like a YouTuber, but you can see all of these streams, with the exception of the Cecconoid streams, which were a patron only for 3 months. But you can see all of the backlog of streams on my YouTube. I think most people know this already anyway, but the reason I put them on there is because Twitch will remove them after a short while unless they're clipped. So just pop over there and subscribe. I'm gonna subscribe to that now. Fine, I'll go and slam that like button. Oh, there we go. Cool, there you go. I'm sub to Warlock's stream now, so I'll oh yeah, I'll check that out afterwards. What do they say? They always say go hit like, hit subscribe, and click the bell. I don't even know what clicking the bell does, but there you go. Do those things in whatever order you feel like doing. I don't know what the bell does, so I think it's like a notify thing, but I don't know. I don't really care that much, but I think it's good to make sure you guys do know that those streams are available there. I at some point I am going to start compiling an index of where information can be found in there, because there's so much information in there. It would be good if you could just go to a page, look up a topic, and then be pointed to a video and a time. So, but obviously that's going to take a long time to build. So I don't know when that will happen, but I would like to do it at some point. I kind of already got to the point where it's got out of control. So, and also after maybe about a month ago or so, all the videos that are on YouTube have the music stripped out because I was getting copyright strikes. If you do struggle to follow sometimes because of the music over the top, then it's probably another good place to check those things out. All right, let's give this a try now. I do need to set mine timer up, so mine timer. What were we setting down here? So we'd set 50 plus 20. So let's set a mine timer of 64 like that. So let's give that a try. Around the 9-minute mark. Yeah, I will check it out after the stream. Okay, what happened there? Something failed. Unknown symbol squares. Because I'm calling this without actually putting the prefix in. I'm looking forward to seeing Warlock's Gate. Well, to be fair, I have seen little bits of it already. That he's sent to me. I can't remember if he's posted them in the channel or if he just sent them to me. But looks good so far. I like it. So it'd be interesting to see. Right. Okay. Let's give that a try now. So, oh god, I want to play the quiz as well. I'm kind of gutted I can't join in on the quiz as that easy. Well, I can join in, but it's not really fair if I join in. Because for one, I know whether I put a game in or not. And that gives me a slight advantage because I've had to actually manually put all of these in. So that's not helping me there because I have no idea what. Oh, yeah. I think I know what this is. I think I know what it is. Oh. Fit trendy type quit. Oh man. Also, I don't know if typing quit. Oh no, you are still there. I thought because you were silent after that, I was wondering if you just actually managed to somehow shut down Twitch for yourself or something. Should have been really unfortunate. Okay. Okay, so it's flashing in the wrong place now, but it did trigger when I got close. So I don't know why it's flashing in the wrong place. But also taking a bit too long as well, so. Okay, so the distance is not quite right. So I need to adjust that distance a little bit. Also, okay, there's a few weird things going on here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. So let's get these ones out of the way. See, look, I'm right up against that, and it's not detecting it until I go above it for some reason. So this could be the see, look, and that should definitely have picked up by now. So there's a little something wrong with it, but okay. So if I come from below, definitely picks up. But what I don't know why the flashing is wrong in this case. So let's have a look in here. So in here, sorry. So let's change this to mine. Activate distance. So we've got a value we can set up, and I'm going to move these into the constants file. Actually, I think they probably belong in here more. And let's make this. Right, so there we go. Right, so let's put that up here and then move it across. So I'm going to leave these constants in here because these constants are related to. Actually, no, I can move them in there as well. All right, let's just keep all the constants in one file, and let's up the distance a little bit to 6. Let's move these all over here. Okay. It sounds like it kind of sounds like faulty towers. And then it goes off into something else. Who is Mewing Lima? I think Mewing Lima is a bot. That bit. It's faulty towers. Well, the bot will just be present all the time, so the bots will just naturally generate that many points. Because remember when I do an add points, every time I do an add points, it's getting them, and the bot. So that's how many points you would have if you never gambled. So Oh, Amiga Bill. Hey, Amiga Bill. Thank you for the raid. Welcome everybody that's come along with Amiga Bill. Hope you're doing well. Thank you very much for the awesome raid there. Thank you. Um, how's it going? What have you been doing tonight? What have you been playing, or have you been looking at hardware? What have you been up to tonight? Uh, oh, you've been playing Zeta Wing. Awesome. Or is that just Hayes saying you were playing that some other day? Zeta Wing, yeah. Keeping the C64 theme alive. Cool, cool. Well, hopefully you'll have some games from me at some point to try if you want to. So I've still not played it. I charged up my GPD to give it a go on that, but I still haven't played it yet. I've been asleep most of the time when I've not been on stream. So thanks for the follow, Fast Twitch Gamer. Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, so welcome everyone that's come along with Amiga Bill. I'm Shannon50k. If you don't already know, I do coding streams three nights a week. I do C64 on Thursday with Cecconoid in particular, which is a game that came out recently on mobile, PC, and Switch. I'm converting it to the C64, which I'll show you in a minute. I do a collaborative game on Saturday, which is a single screen arcade platformer, which hopefully we should be finished with fairly soon after over a year of development. Thank you for the follow, Edvin Helland. Welcome to the stream, dude. Yeah, take care, Amiga Bill. Thanks for the raid. And then on Tuesdays, I do. At the moment, I'm doing Game Boy Color, converting a game I did for the C64 last year, Dot Cosmos, to the Game Boy. But I'm not enjoying the Game Boy Color at all. Enjoy the hardware, don't like the language. I think it's horrible. But this is what we're working on at the moment. Which is a C64 version of Cecconoid. It is a very spammy channel, and Hayes likes to point that out. Hayes likes to point that out, and then actually spam the channel as well. Go on, mention your Mega 65. I haven't got a Mega 65 yet, but I will be getting one. So in November, okay, I am going to mention it. I wasn't going to, but I will do now. So in November, the Mega 65 dev kits come out. I'm going to grab. I've got one of those coming, and when that comes, I'm going to do another game, which I'm going to add into my weekday rotation. So between Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm going to sometimes do Game Boy, sometimes do C64, sometimes do Mega 65, and we're going to do an R-type style game for that. So yeah, thanks for the bits anyway, Hayes, and all the spam. I kind of regret putting the spam icon in there now because it fits neatly into Hayes's TTS spam. So Hayes doesn't so much point out as instigate. Yeah, he does. Between Tuesday and Thursday is Wednesday. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna add another day, but I am gonna rotate the those 2 days with what I do on them. So thank you for the follow, Rob Run, and thank you for the follow, McLegend. Welcome to the stream, guys. Okay, so this is what we've been working on. And currently just trying to get these mines to behave correctly. There's a few things wrong with them at the moment. First of all, they're flashing in the wrong place, so I'm not sure why that is. And secondly, they don't seem to be consistent with the distance that activates them. So you can see here, actually that one did that time. It flashed in the right place and activated in the right place. But you see they're flashing in the wrong place now. So I need to figure out what that is first. Let's fix that color. And then we can fix the actual distance, because there's something wrong with the distance. I'm not sure what it is, but something's not quite right with it. So can you do this and it's not on the touch points? Set points. I can do that. Set points. Meaning 0. It's not a bug, it's a feature. which which if it was my game, if it was my game to begin with, and it was all my design, then I would definitely just claim that's exactly what I wanted, and just nah, I wouldn't do that. I know what I'm like. I wouldn't be able to cope with it. Um, but one of the things that makes working on a port like this difficult is trying to keep as close to the original material as possible. I think we've done a pretty good job so far. Everything feels pretty close to the original. Obviously, the number of particles is a lot lower because this is a C64 after all, and the screens are a bit smaller, but we're getting there now. Hello, moving lemur. What are you on about? It might be a shy person. No, it's definitely a bot. Bitstorm is also a bot. I might go through at some point and remove the bots, but I'm not going to do any more right now. So, um, yeah. So this is kind of what we've been working on. We've got most of it, most of the difficult stuff out of the way. It's really just kind of custom building these entities here, these mines and such. You see, look, that one doesn't show up for some reason, but I can explode it. Maybe it's not being registered as a mine for some reason. I mean, it should be doing. I'll worry about that in a minute. The thing is most of the entity stuff needs to be pulled from the charpad file anyway. And until I've got the char set. Andy sent me the char set the other day, but I haven't had time to update the scripts to deal with that. So I'm just working on the original one for now. But eventually, all these things will be placed automatically in the code. Steps might be a. Oh, who got the quiz? I missed that. Did somebody get it? Oh no, it's not on yet. Steps just getting excited. Oh god, Steps is easily excited by these things. All right, so we need to figure out why the colors are flashing incorrectly. So let's go and take a look down in the mine update stuff. I mean, it could be this X value's been destroyed for some reason. I don't think it is though, because otherwise this wouldn't work here. Something would break at this point. And all we're doing is calling this method here, which is not destroying X anywhere. Who got that one? Thalamus, well done. I've never seen that game before. Was it a good game? Okay, so it doesn't look like anything in here is destroying that value in X. So I want to just check. Are we okay? We're happily overriding Y. I can hear an alarm. There's an alarm going off somewhere. Um, okay, let's just force and activate. So let's just force all the mines to activate and see if they flash correctly. I want to see if this is breaking it. So I'm just gonna do this basically, which is going to force all the mines to activate as soon as they appear on the screen. And will let me know then if something I'm doing in that distance function is breaking is actually breaking that. God, that alarm's really put me off. I might go for a quick break in a minute to see what it is. Yeah, so you see the colours are all fine here, and then these should explode, which they do. Perfect. Okay, so that means something I'm doing in this section here is causing an issue with the data down here. So let's have a look. So all we're doing is we're checking the distance to the player, which is this thing here. And we're never storing anything in these X and Y, so they remain the same. We're not doing anything with X other than using it as an index correctly in these instances here. Yeah, that's kind of odd, actually. That should not be an issue. So the only thing I can think is that maybe this G-temp is being used somewhere where it shouldn't be. So I'm just gonna, in fact, I'm almost certain that's what it's going to be. It has to be that, thinking about it, which means it's probably being used in this update. Entities, no. It's not being used in that. Entity temp. Okay, I'm not sure why that would be. But I bet if I change these to something else, that'd be fine. So let me create 3 more of these. I'm just going to change these to entity temp 1, 2, and 3, and just see if that actually fixes the issue. I have a feeling it might do, and it's fine to use this area because this is kind of this area is like a temporary storage area anyway. I can't put anything persistent in here because when I switch screens, it's going to get cleared. I use zero index in the table. Which table? What table are you on about there, Andy? Guys, I'm going to take a quick break because I want to figure out where this alarm is coming from. Yeah, the square table is zero index. That should be fine. I'm going to be back in 2 or 3 minutes, guys. I'm just going to go and have a quick kind of puff on my thing outside, and see what this alarm is. So I'll be right back. I'm back. I started another race because I realized I hadn't put it in brake mode. I don't know what that was at all. It stopped when I went outside as well. I heard it up. It's coming from up the road, so it's not from here. But whatever it was, it stopped anyway. So at least my house isn't on fire. That's the main thing, right? What is that? Oh wow! Eldritch got that straight away. Good guess, man. That wasn't really a guess, was it? You knew it. So right, okay. Okay, so we're going to try this out with these new variables in. Hopefully that solves the color flickering issue. Thalamus Last Ninja remix. The 3 people who've had the most embarrassing failures are all called Andy. I don't know if that's coincidence. Okay, that doesn't seem to have made much of a difference. Although some of them flash correctly, which is the annoying thing, and then some don't. And actually, the distance thing actually seems to be all right. I think it might just be because of the way the calculation works. Because he's checking from the top left corner instead of the center. So I could maybe shift the center again a bit more or something. Thanks for the follow, Locust. Welcome to the stream, dude. And thank you for the follow. I missed a couple there as well. So thank you, Spaceman 21st Century and Legion 2183. Welcome, guys. Why? For some reason at that point, yeah. Why is the color flash wrong? X and Y switched. Sorry, I was just reading the It's the offset. The missed flash is exactly the same out. But why is the offset? It shouldn't. So here's the thing, right? If I don't grab this distance, so if I don't do this calculation at all, and I just skip that and just jump straight to activate here, then everything is fine. It's the act of doing this that causes it to causes it to behave incorrectly. So if I don't do that, watch what happens. They'll all flash the correct color in the correct places. If I've got the right file. Come on. Good night, Dockster. Thanks for joining the stream, dude. Is it negative values? Hang on, I'll check in a second. Let me just show you what I mean. You see, they're all flashing perfectly fine. Right colors, they all explode correctly. But then for some reason, if I do this, then it causes a problem. So actually what I'm going to do is what Fresh Cat Meat says on comment 289. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just do that because this should activate them the same anyway, right? So this should, because it's going to say what's our activate distance, and it's going to compare it to the square. So it's always going to take this branch. This branch is always going to happen. So basically, it's going to do the same thing. It's going to activate them all again. So let's see if that does it. But yeah, it is something to do with that routine. But I don't know why that routine would do anything, because it's not. It's only storing in these temporary places. See, that's fine as well. Also, I'm pleased with how well it handles the multiple particles. That's good. So it's definitely this routine. This routine is definitely an issue. But you can see here, the only time I'm actually storing a value is dx here. Oh, hang on, this is f, but this is, I'm deliberately returning a value that's too high here. Compare it to maximum distance. So if it's less than that, it jumps to here, otherwise it returns this. So this is what should be happening, which is just grabbing those values from the table and using y as an index. Yeah, ff is -1. I get that. That's absolutely fine, right? But if you look at what I'm actually doing down here, where is it? I'm comparing the value I get back with the square, right? And if I'll show you an easy 6502. It's probably the easiest way to do this. And even so, all this is doing is, should I activate it or not? The problem is it's not. It's activating it, but now the color's in a completely different place for some reason. It's like this map lookup and screen LSB is completely wrong for some reason, which makes me think this X value is wrong. But nothing is breaking the X. That's what I don't understand. Nothing in here is playing with the X register. Nothing in here. I mean, we're using the X register, but we're not changing it anywhere. Nothing in here is store X or increase X or anything. But yeah, if I look at Easy 6502, right? So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to compare a value to 1, 0. And we're looking at the carry flag. So the carry flag is this one here, right? So if I check that, that should be less. So the carry flag should be clear, right? FF, yes, it's -1, but in terms of this comparison, it should set the carry flag still. There we go. And see, the carry flag is set. So it doesn't really matter for this comparison. for the carry flag, this is treated as 255. Because we're just doing a subtraction. So the end result of this is that we're subtracting this from this, and the result is going less. So well, it's crossing the boundary. Sorry, we're subtracting this from this, and that's not and a subtraction will keep the carry flag set. So so I'm not entirely sure what's going on. I guess the next job then is to put a breakpoint in here and see. But again, I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen at that point. There's an LDA, yeah. One of the processor flags calls it the only flag that is of use to us is the carry flag, and that's being set by this comparison instruction here anyway. So okay, so the problem is it seems to be looking in the wrong place for the color flash, but then the color flash is actually happening correctly. So it's almost like these values are being changed for some reason. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to restore the code to its normal state, which it is at now. And then I'm going to use the debugger to examine memory in various places. So what I'm interested in is this screen LSB and screen MSB here. I want to see if these change. So I need to know where the start of the entity data stuff is. So I'm just going to put, unfortunately, it's, I have to do it this way because I don't have proper labeling inside the debugger at the moment. Because I'm using this cartridge thing that I've done, which has made it a bit awkward, but should still be able to work out what's going on from this. So okay, so let's just compile that. CLC before the no, you shouldn't need to clear the carry bit before the compare. So I just had a breakthrough if I use Phaser WebGL renderer instead of Cam. Oh, yes, I could have told you that. I could have told you that, definitely. I thought you were using the WebGL renderer. Thanks for the resub, Mad Beagle. Appreciate it, dude. You've got some self-mod there. Yes. So, wait, where you on about? Do you mean in here? Yes, that is Kim Wilde, yes. So that was 2 years ago. Canvas was better performing than WebGL, and that depends on the device. It depends hugely on the device. It still does perform better in Canvas on some devices, but the number of devices is definitely tilted like 95% towards WebGL now. Oh, sword beef. Yeah, there's a jump table somewhere in here, or is it here? Yeah. It's not that though. This is just the updates are working fine. It's just that it's the color index is wrong. So, all right, let's have a look. So we've got screen LSB and update mine. Okay, so I know where those values are now. So let's close that down, reopen it. What's that? That looks interesting. I like the look of that, whatever that game is. Does Steps know what it is now? I have no idea what that is. Chain reaction. Okay, I have heard of that. Critical mass isn't even close. Oh shit! I need to pause. Right. Okay. So I want to go and have a look at the data up here. 2E, 2E. Okay, so this is all our. What is this? This is this. Oh shit! How many entities do I have? Maximum entities. It should be like 64. It is 64. God's sake! Right, that's going to make that awkward. Yeah, so it means all this. Okay, but these are kind of looking all right, I think. I don't see any problem with them, but the data it's getting is down here for some reason. I wonder if it is to do with the carry flag, and what's happening is that occasionally, oh no, because it's a color lookup, isn't it? Hang on. We do this add here. Wait a minute. Wait a goddamn bloody minute. It's going to be that. It's going to be that. There's just a missing CLC. And the problem is that before we were always taking the same path into here. But now what we're doing is we're actually checking if something is active. And if it's not, we're calling this routine, which could get to this point with the carry set, which means by the time you get down to here, map lookup is now something completely different. But why that's doing it every frame, I don't know. I'm not entirely convinced that's going to work, but let's give it a try anyway. It definitely should have that clear carry flag in there, though. So those mines take far too long to explode. But yeah, that does seem to be the issue. Okay, that's frustrating. Actually, the distance isn't too bad now. I think the distance calculation is right. It's not fully centered. So we're testing from the center of the object to the top left corner of the object. But really, we should be testing from the center of the object to the center of the object. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to just shift this now. So I'm going to shift it back 8 pixels in either direction, which is going to test against the center instead of the edges. So let's go and do that in it was in player, wasn't it? Here. Control here. So I'm going to move this back 8, so that becomes 2, and this has to be 4 because this is a half value, so this will become 8, and that should test against the center of objects, center of 2x2 blocks of objects instead of the top left corner. Finally, I'm going to set the mine timer down to like that, something that should be probably fine, and I think we're pretty good for those mines. Don't get clear carry issues in Z80 Game Boy. No, that's true actually. That is one of the things I do like about the Z80. It does have an add with and without carry, and I wish the 6502 had that, but it doesn't. So just have to deal with it. But it's fine. You get kind of used to it. This seems okay actually. So the only other thing is now, and this is going to be the last thing I do before I go to sleep, is that the mines only have 1 hit point at the moment. And that's a problem because if I set them to have more than 1 hit point, what's going to happen is you're going to need to be actually, what will happen? They will. Well, let's see what happens. I think what's going to happen is, so these are the mines here. So if I give them 4 hit points, I think what will happen is they will continue to try and explode, or they're either going to freeze when they run out of time, because the timer is going to set it back to 0, and then on the next frame it's going to be deemed non-active, or they will continue to flash for 4 more frames, and each frame they will reduce the hit points by 1. But what we need to do is make it automatically set them to 0. So let's see what happens, because that's going to be important. And then I think on the next stream, what we'll do is we'll do the spike mines as well, because they're just an extension of what we've already got here. Yeah, see, there you go. They actually, a decal appeared up here. So now I'm intrigued. Is that decal because it's because they've not exploded? That's why. Okay. And you can still shoot them. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, see, it's just removing 1 hit point and then freezing. Okay, so in order to fix that, what we need to do is whenever we call explode entity needs to set those hit points to 0. So you can see we're doing destroyable, remove item, force hit object. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to make sure that force remove object in here actually sets the points to 0, the hit points to 0. So that's happening here. Reduce hit points, subtract 0, 1. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a little variable in 0 page, which I'm going to call entity hit point remove. And this is basically going to be oh, actually, no, that's probably not going to work. Hang on, let me think about this. Hang on, let me think. All right, let's call it force remove. Okay, if this value is 0, then it's just going to continue like normal. And we will set that value to 0 in destroyable in here, just before this section here, which I can do. So force hit object. So if I just do load 0. Otherwise, what we can do is in our explode entity. So before we call this routine, we can say, and all that means is when we go to do the remove hit points in here, this bit here, what we can do is we can say load entity force remove. If that's 0, we're just going to come to this point and carry on like normal. Otherwise, what we're going to do is we're going to load the accumulator with 0, and then we're going to store that at this location and exit and remove. So now, even though they've got 4 hit points, they'll remove immediately when we shoot them, when they explode. So this is going to allow us to have an object that you can take multiple shots to kill, or will just blow up on its own in a single explosion. And then I think I'm going to call it a night there, guys, because, as I say, I'm very tired again. Hopefully I'm going to get used to this. I think it's because my brain's in a bit more overdrive during the day now, because I'm having to... I was just kind of drifting through the days before. I was just kind of doing stuff and not really having to use my brain very much. I'd just kind of gone into zombie mode almost. But now I'm having to really kind of force myself to learn stuff, and it's kind of hard work. Today was kind of interesting though. I was doing what was it called? HTTP request smuggling, which was interesting. Um, for those who care about cybersecurity, it was pretty good. Yeah, those mines are working okay now. I'm quite pleased with that. It's I don't know why that died in one shot. I shouldn't have died in one shot. Hang on. See, now I don't trust them. I'm gonna shoot a couple now. Yeah, request moment still works okay with it. Yeah, and the thing is, you can use it to do so much as well, and it's so misunderstood by people. Uh, how many modes can be set up at once? You can set them all off in theory. You can see if I set them properly, then I can get them all to trigger at the same time. Okay, these are dying in one shot, which is wrong now, so I need to check out why that is. Everything's dying in one shot. So I think I've done something wrong in here. Uh, oh, okay, I've broken something in here. I need to check that. Reduce hit points. Okay, do that in a second. Let me just catch up with chat. Yeah, because header values can have the yeah exactly. You can just fill. You can create you can recreate bodies, request bodies that just have more headers in it, and craft the data to basically say, here's my request. But the next time you deal with a request for somebody else, ignore what they want. Do this first, and you can use that to do all sorts of malicious stuff, and it's kind of crazy. But I never knew about it before because apparently it's quite it's known about in cybersecurity circles, but not so much from a kind of sysadmin, like a DevOps kind of admin point of view. But yeah, that's been fun learning about that today. Yeah, and the crazy thing is, Fitrend it's kind of like a man in the middle attack in that you can kind of force your own data onto somebody else's request, but you don't need to be a man in the middle. You literally just you can just sit on your own private network, send what seems to be a perfectly valid request, and then eventually it just poisons the HTTP headers on the server side, so that the next request just gets that extra data when it shouldn't do. So um, session fixation. I'm going to write that down, so I want to look that up. But yeah, that was an interesting thing to learn that today, and figuring out how to test for the vulnerability and then exploit the vulnerability. And there's a few different ways you can exploit, and it depends on which configuration there is, whether somebody's using reverse proxies, how many reverse proxies they're using, what content CDN providers they're using, things like that. So that learning how to do that on all the different types and to be able to test for it quickly and suggest remedies for it as well was kind of interesting. But I'm enjoying that sort of stuff. It's good. But yeah, look up session fixation and check that out. Anything like that is good. I like learning these things. Okay, so for some reason in here, we're getting an issue where I think it's probably because this is not being set to 0 all the time when we come into this method, and that's probably because in here it is being set. Where is it being set? Oh no, it's in destroyable, isn't it? It's in here. That's why. Yeah, we're setting it to 0 here. Actually, that should be fine. Why is it not? Where's the reduced hit points? Oh no, we're calling it here. This should be doing it correctly. Because if I turn off this one in here, where's it gone now? Oh, I'm in the wrong file. That's why. Damn it. Hit it. Outlook. Yeah, so I just set that to 0. This should be fine. Oh, it's getting really warm in here. That's Lindy 2, not the remix. You can go to the app, get a session that is not logged in, then give a URL to someone who's authorized, and they actually create a fresh session ID. Otherwise, they might log you in. Okay, I'll have to have a look for that. Shine thought he got bits. No, I've learned to recognize the difference between the alert and the tune now. It is a cool tune, this though. It's very good. Lambada time. All right, why is that not loading? It does this now and again. Get this thing fixed, and then see, now they're not. Now they're taking the correct amount of hits. It's only when I set that 1 to 1. So is it because I know why. It's because sometimes we jump into found here. So really this should be set up here, like so. There we go. That's why. So I think that's going to be it. And then if that is it, I'm going to call it a night there. But thanks for coming along tonight, guys. Awesome. Let's test this so quickly. I might be wrong. There's still a few more SIDs to go. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a screenshot of the tunes that are there. I'm going to add them back to the queue again because they probably will end up getting removed because I do start the stream, start the overlay before that. What's on for Saturday? I can't remember where we got to. I think the bonus and crowns are being awarded properly now. Yeah, this is working now. Perfect. Oh, there seemed to be an explosion in the wrong place then, I think. Let's check that again. Oops, that's not what I wanted to press. Yeah, I'm not sure where we're at. I think it will probably be doing the level compression. It was a ghost. Yeah, I thought so. It was a ghost explosion. Actually press the right buttons. So just keep my eye on these explosions. So I shot these ones, and I think I got those to explode. And then I just whizzed over these like this. Yes. Okay, I think that's one for next time. But it gives me something to look at. Just trying to think if there's anything obvious why they would do it because it's actually creating 2 explosions there. It's not creating 1. Didn't realize they had already been shot. Oh yeah, maybe. Oh, let's try that again. think you might be right there. So what happens if we shoot as many as we can from a distance and then just move into that area? Because okay, yeah, maybe we can. Maybe I'll fix this before I go. Actually, then. So another 10 minutes or so. I think I know. I think I know what the problem is here. So let's try shooting all of these. Okay, so they've all been shot, but they're still registered as entities, and they're still causing a flash. So what we need to do then in that case is when they explode, or when we check for activity here. This is it. This is actually quite a tricky one. This is the problem with having separate kind of two separate data structures that point to the same thing because of the persistence. Um, but it's fine. It's fine. We can still do this because we're actually grabbing remove if already dead. No, I will do this on the next stream. So what I need to do, and the reason I'm going to do it on the next stream is because I think this is going to take a little bit longer than I think. But what I need to do is whenever a destroyable object is removed, whenever this section here happens, and this happens here, and this object is actually destroyed and removed from the screen, I also need to go and check in the entity list to make sure it's removed from the entity list as well. It's just because we've got two things being listed because an entity essentially is just an abstract piece of data, which is just saying the items at this screen location have these behaviors. But we've also got a list of persistent items. So we've got somewhere else we've got a list of items that can be shot that aren't necessarily entities. So, for instance, these are not classed as entities. There's no update routine for these objects. And we don't want there to be an update routine because it would slow it down if every time there was something that could be destroyed had to update all the time. So instead, what we do is we keep a record of things that can be shot and how many hit points they have, and that becomes a screen persistence. So if I shoot this once and then leave the screen and then come back, I only need to shoot this once again for it to explode. And that's because of the screen persistence. But it also means that the entity data is separated from that. So the entity data shares some commonality. It shares an X and a Y. And the reason it has an X and Y is because it also needs to do things like check your distance from things, from an entity. And it shares screen kind of updates, so it can flash colors and things. Not the same routine when they explode due to proximity versus bullets. The explosion is the same routine, but the sequence of events that lead up to and after that routine is different depending on whether you've shot it or whether it's self-exploded. So all I really need to do is when something explodes, is just make sure that it goes and checks in the entity list as well, and make sure that it sets active to actually, if the activity is on 0, oh, it needs to set the type to 0. So it needs to go through whenever something explodes. It needs to go through this list, find a match in X and Y. If it finds a match in X and Y, set the type to 0, which shouldn't be too difficult. But I'm going to do it on the next stream because I don't want. I'm at a point now where it's not too bad. So. The quiz answer was Alternative World Games, and Hazemaker got it. Actually, how are we doing on tunes? Maybe I will play both of these tunes. I'm not sure how long there's left on them. A minute on that. No, I tell you what, Warlock, your tunes, I will start on the next stream. So I've got a record of what they are, and I'll start them on the Saturday stream. Which I'm sure you're probably going to miss the beginning of. So whenever you log on the Saturday stream, I will play these tunes. So let me just save those, and I'll restore them back at some point. So I'm just going to call it Warlock Tunes, and then I can just pick that up on Saturday whenever you log on. Thrust 30 is amazing. JS is so much better than this shit. Better than what shit? Oh, you mean better than ASM? Nah. JS is too easy. JS is, yeah, it's too easy, man. I like my code to be a child. This is another reason I've moved into cybersecurity, because it gives me an opportunity to only code stuff that I enjoy doing. So it means my coding at work is next to none. And that means all the coding I do is challenging stuff like ASM. It's not like easy mode stuff like Java or JavaScript or, well, anything other than ASM really. So Python for the win. No, Python not for the win. Actually, I used a bit of Python today for doing for testing those HTTP smuggling request smuggles. You use Python script just to kind of inject a bit of extra data into the header. All right, cool. I'm gonna leave it there, guys, and I shall catch you all on Saturday. Let's go and find someone to raid. Let me refresh this. Let's have a look. Who's on? Hulk's on. Let's have a look what Hulk's playing. What is that? Turtles. Okay, I'm down with that. He's playing a Turtles game. That's always good. Shall no play games. I'm tired at the moment. I will play games again at some point, but at the moment I'm really tired. I think things will start to change. I think towards the end of this month, and certainly they will change when. I mean, I've got new graphics card coming, Xbox coming, Atari VCS coming. These are all things I want to play on stream as well. So I'll force myself to be awake for these, and I would like to definitely do that Thalamus idea. I think that's really cool. Yeah, and the Mega 65 as well. That probably won't be as much about playing games as it will be about writing them. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. I shall see you on Saturday. I hope everybody has a great Friday, and I shall see you then. Cheerio. I don't know what that was about.